Hello and welcome to the Velvet Revolution with myself, Ben Rice, and Dave Noble. How you doing today, Dave?
Yeah, I'm tired. It's the first thing I need to say. I'm tired. Um, I feel I've got really sore eyes, you know that tired, sore
Mm-hmm.
eye, really sore, scratchy eyes. Feel like I'm gonna be like that all day. Yeah, late night I was being a big session yesterday with work. I had a big work session, block of work. Um, so I feel tired from that, and then afterwards, because I was on screens, I was doing like the aftercare session. I had like 17 young mavericks and me on a screen all over the world. And there's me holding that space. It's like a support group for their aftercare. It's like I love doing it, but 17, that's a lot of people, just me and 17 newcomers. You know what I mean?
Yep,
Jesus.
that takes a
Um,
lot of energy. A lot of energy.
Yeah, for an hour and a half on there, but it went over to nearly 2 hours. But it's okay, man. It's great. I love it. Love doing it. Love helping them. Love being part of that. It's really always very inspiring, but it's really exasperating at the same time. So last night, I just need to drop this in. I did mention I was going to seek out a distortion foot pedal.
Mm-hmm.
Um, So I went and got it. And last night I was knee deep in my Big Muff, playing the distortion pedal called the Big Muff. And
Mm-hmm.
so that was a late one. Just getting all growly, getting into
Yeah.
the gravelly growl of my Big Muff. Yeah.
Did you like candles? Was it like a sort of religious experience?
There was a roll of toilet paper
Okay.
in the room with me, but that's because I've got savage hay fever at the moment.
Right. Okay.
But there was a lowly dim lit light,
Nice.
yes,
Okay.
and the blinds were shut.
Nice. I'm just checking what kind of mood you were saying.
Yeah, it's kind of like a growly Pink Floyd
Mm-hmm.
ambience.
Nice. Nice.
So yeah, and then I woke up at 4 in the morning. So I reckon I had about 3 hours sleep.
Mm-hmm.
But then I did have a little doze up. So anyway, so I'm tired. But other than that, I've got that Friday feeling.
Mm-hmm.
I was born on Friday, and it doesn't have to be a Friday for me to have the Friday feeling. But I just love Fridays. I've got a Friday feeling, although
Nice.
I'm tired, so it's good.
Okay.
How are you? How are you?
Yeah, yeah. I am also tired. Um, yeah, I am going my daily appointments to have my wound packed are happening at 8 o'clock at the moment in the morning. So I'm having to get up and go to these appointments. Today's was positive, actually. I'm getting really disheartened with it because it's going on and on and on. And anyone that's been listening to these episodes will know that we've been talking about this for a while now. Um, and it's getting to that point where I'm just kind of fed up and like, would this just bloody heal now and get on, can just get on with it. But yeah, she was very positive today, the nurse, about the fact it is healing. So hopefully, touch wood, it might be turning a corner, but I'm ready for it to be over, but I think it's still going to be a while yet. So yeah, that's where I'm at this morning, I think.
It will be over.
Mm.
It will be over. One day it'll be over.
And then I'll look
Um,
back on these days with I don't know, with glee, with some sort of hankering for the time and space it's given me. Yeah.
well, you know, um, I'm a big believer of you know, these things that happen to us in life, or there's a reason for it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that reason will be revealed later on down the line.
Yep.
Who
Yep.
knows? But I think I think there's some synchronicity to. There was some free will though. It was your choice to go and do, like you said. I think you shared. I'd refused to look at it and do it in my. Was it in your 20s or early 30s or something?
It was, yeah. I literally, I know because I turned. It was a school trip I went on. It was a 24-hour bus ride, and it was on the way back. And I was like, "Oh, my back is killing me." And
Yeah,
it wasn't just, and I was like, "This isn't just normal sort of lower back pain, just sitting on my backside on a bus for 24 hours." And then when I checked, it was like this lump had formed, and that's when I went to the doctors.
yeah. It was the beginning of your
The beginning.
Roland rat tale.
Beginning of my tail growing inwards. Um, and yeah, and then I went to the doctors and they said, yeah, we can do it, but it's going to be 3 months recovery. I was like,
Yeah.
nah, I'm not doing that.
So, but then you decided to do it now, and I think you shared, if I recall, it's because you know, it's like it's what you do when you start to become more um connected to a sense of self-care, you know, looking after yourself in a better way. You start to go, oh, I'm going to look at that now. I'm going to address that thing.
Mm,
Gonna get it done
mm.
instead of procrastinating. We did that one. Just was that the last one we did? No, it's the one.
We did
What?
quiet last, didn't we?
Okay. So, but you're right.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. And I think I think you're absolutely right. I think it's a sign of self care and of moving forward. And yeah, and as I said, hopefully in a couple of months I'll look back and just think, yeah, so it was all worth it.
yeah. You'll be looking at yourself in the mirror with your ass out, sort of doing that sort of like, you know, look at checking yourself up, doing that sort of, you know, that selfie photo that people seem to do. Or is
Well,
that just me?
that's just you, I
I don't do selfies. I don't fucking take selfies, man.
think.
But like, I'm sure I've seen photos of that somewhere. Or is that something? Is that something else?
I
Oh
think
God!
that's
What I'm
quite.
talking about.
Yeah, yeah. Just stop digging. Stop digging.
Right, God, this could go like this episode because I've not had a lot of sleep. But no, I just had an image of like you sort of
Well,
just sort of looking over your shoulder, like at yourself in a mirror, in a full length mirror. Have you got a full length mirror in your bedroom?
no,
And you're sort of looking over your shoulder at your, you know,
Frankenstein's ass is
yeah,
basically.
and looking at it, checking it out, going, yeah, you know, I look good, you know, and you can't really say that right now. You don't feel like you're in a position to have that. Anyway, right, okay, so, um, I'm choosing. It's my
You
turn.
are choosing. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
What letter are we on? We're on so QR. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Let me get the list up. Um, Here we go. The Human Encyclopedia, A to Z. Okay. So, R, I'm going to read them. Realistic
Mm-hmm.
or real, I guess. Don't know what that even really means. I mean, I know what it means, but um, rationalize, resentment.
Mm-hmm.
Why did you laugh?
Because yeah, there's a lot. Yeah, that's a
There's,
big one.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Resistance.
Yep.
The
Yeah.
the resistance.
Resistance.
Is that hello, hello?
Yeah.
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 Um, rude.
Okay.
Yeah. Righteous.
Yep.
Restless.
Yeah.
Mm. Ridicule.
Okay.
Mm. Reliable.
Yeah.
Respectful.
Huh?
Raucous.
Okay.
Oh, that really makes me feel excited by saying that. Raucous. What does raucous mean? Not that we're going to land on that, but just out of what would you say raucous is?
Uh, sort of loud and is there a level of obnoxiousness to it, or
So
is it
it's like,
just being
do you know what comes to mind when I say raucous?
go on,
Fawlty Towers.
40 Towers?
Yeah,
Okay.
Basil.
Yeah, yeah. He's
Basil Fawlty. He's a
you know
bit
what comes to
raucous.
mind for me?
Go on.
Where the Wild Things Are, and they're sort of
So,
those monsters, and there he's on the island as a little boy, isn't he?
I've not seen it. I know what I know what the film is. I know that
Do
there's a
you know the
film.
book? Did you have the book as a
I've
kid?
seen the book, and I've not read the book. I've seen. I know what you're talking about. I've not.
But they stomp around the island being monsters and sort of crashing and smashing and shouting and screaming. That's what I think Raucous is.
Rah, rah. Like, yeah, yeah, yeah. I think we've all been. I mean, can we all relate to that? I think I do. I've been a
Yeah,
bit
yeah,
raucous. I like the word. I just like it.
yeah.
Raucous. It's quite a cool word. Resignation.
Okay,
Um, like as in I resign to the fact that I'm hopeless.
okay.
Maybe. I don't know. Reactive. Oh,
Yeah,
oh, and rejection. Ah, yeah, it's hard.
it's a big old category, isn't
Really
it?
hard. I feel like
Yeah.
this is on me to get the right one, and it's just like this. There's three that I want to do.
Well,
This,
this isn't the only season, hopefully. So
yeah, okay. Oh man, hang on. Realistic, rationalized, resentment, resistance, rude, righteous, restless, ridicule, reliable, respectful, raucous, resignation, reactive, rejection. Oh
it's
man,
almost like we should have one of those
yeah,
big wheels there in the quiz show. With
yeah, yeah,
just
yeah,
spin it
yeah.
and see where the arrow falls.
Oh fuck, man. Um, which way do I go with it? Which way do I go with it? I mean, the way my head, the way I feel quite raucous. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like I could be
all, I,
quite raucous on this.
all I'm going to say is we talked about your big muff quite a lot on the
Yeah.
last episode,
Okay. All right.
and I reckon that's why Raucous is appealing to you at the moment.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe we shouldn't do that. I'm gonna go raucous.
You are going to go
I'm gonna go raucous. I am because I want to go with raucous.
because you like the word.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, we'll take it out of context. I'm sure. Can I look it up?
Yeah, please do. Please do.
Yeah, before I go sort of knees deep with this.
I mean, I'm wondering whether it actually is used in Where the Wild Things Are.
Okay, raucous. So, excuse me. RAU, raucous. Because I don't know. There we go. Okay, raucous in a dictionary, book of words. Here we go. Raucous, sounding loud and harsh. Right.
Yeah,
Now we covered boastfulness,
yeah,
sounding loud and harsh. Right. Sounding loud and harsh. Do you feel like we can do this?
yeah.
Okay, well, we're going to do it. We're
Okay.
committed. There we go. Raucous. So I'm going to put it on to you now because I feel I'm done already. um, what's your spin on raucous? Come on. Other than where the wild ones live or whatever it is.
Where the Wild Things Are. Where am I going to go with Raucous? I think there is it does have a level of obnoxiousness to it, which is where I said earlier. I think it's if someone is raucous or there is a level of noise coming out of somebody, I'm expecting there to be a level of sort of God, I wish they'd just shut up. Like I wish like that noise is hurting me. It's like they're slightly painful in their way that they are shouting about whatever. Yeah, it's like it is bragging. There is a level of boastfulness to it. So I think it's almost like excuse me. it's almost that same sense of, yeah, I wish they would just think about what they're saying. I wish they would just calm themselves down and maybe take 5 just to reflect on the noise that is coming out of them.
Yeah.
There is a level of impulsivity to raucousness. I think it's like, we're just like, I'm imagining a group of people, you're sitting in a pub garden or you're sitting somewhere and there's a group of people that are just getting drunker and louder and less inhibited. And because of that, there is a noise that comes from that that is just messy. It's like there's no thought and there's no consideration for anyone else that's in the vicinity.
Do you think us men um, naturally feel the need to be raucous? When is there a phase in our lives? Do you think is it like a boy to man thing, like a rites of passion? Do you feel raucous is something like a character trait of being a man or a boy or a teenager? I don't know. Just asking.
Yeah, I think there is. I think there is a level of uh showing off. I think it's not necessarily about what is being said, it is about how it is being said and being a volume that puts you above other people. So I think there is an exuberance that comes out of, I mean, I think young people, full stop, there is an exuberance that comes out of them because there is that passage of life where you are trying to work out who you are, what you are, why you are, all of those things. And a lot of that is done at a volume that is not necessarily uh, conducive to everyone. And I think that's what you see a group of young people and they're desperately fighting for attention. Who can be top dog? And I think that does continue in life. I think that does, we see that in adult life as well, where the people that shout the most, the people that are the loudest, the people that are the most raucous get appear to get further ahead. I think we talked about this the other day, but that idea that the loudest voice isn't in the room uh isn't always the most wise. And that quite often you sort of see people in powerful positions who are extremely loud and extremely opinionated, and somehow we gravitate to that. Somehow we see them as more. It's like, oh, look at them. They've got the confidence or the power to stand there and shout and say these things. And oh, isn't it great? Isn't it funny? Or isn't it? You know, I think that's that's a trait that we're all sort of guilty of as humans, is we tend to bow down to these louder voices.
Hmm. Yeah, unless you have the means or the attitude or the ability, desire, whatever you want to call it, to not.
Mm.
You know what I mean? So it says loud and harsh in the book of words.
Hmm.
What's the harshness to it, do you think?
Well, I think that's the edge. I think that's if people are just saying things without thinking, are just making noise to be heard, rather that rather than to be understood,
Mm.
then I think that's where the harshness comes to it. I was watching uh, a well-known, popular panel show last night. Uh, it's more of a factual, news-based one where various people of power get to be asked questions by the public. And it was hugely frustrating because actually on there was a lack of any clarity and of any real clear decisions. The people on the panel show didn't seem to want to say anything that might offend or might be, I don't know. There was lack of decisiveness to it, is how it felt. There was a lack of incision and a lack of thought. And it feels to me at the moment that we've just got a load of voices that seem to be saying, well, not a load of voices. We've got a few people in the world that are being very dominant, and they are male voices, and they are saying things that people want to hear in a very clear and concise way. And because of that, they're getting lots of media coverage and they're getting lots of power.
When you say want to hear, you know, like I'm presuming mainstream society who
Mm,
are subscribed to the narrative,
yeah.
what without, you know, obviously you've got to be very cryptic and continue to be so. Don't want to be that show where it's just like, you know, we don't want to sound like we're, you know, getting political or all of that jazz. But um, what was the what was the narrative that you feel people want to hear?
Well, it's very much like a populist opinion. So uh, it it feels like at the moment that we want to have people to blame. We want to have reasons why things are going wrong.
Oh, okay. So
And yeah, go on.
no, no, just quickly, sorry. So it's like left wing, right wing, or
Yeah.
or not. You know, I'm saying left wing, right wing, or just throwing it out there, or it could be Tottenham Hotspur versus Arsenal, or
Mm,
you know, it's that it's them or
yeah.
them or them.
Yeah, yeah, but it's also people don't want to be seen as having strong opinions about anything. And it's okay to have strong opinions about stuff. I mean, you know, like I know we're trying not to, you know, be overly political or disappear
Mm.
down some rabbit hole on here. But it's okay to have opinions. It's okay to say this is what I believe in. If
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
not harmful to someone else,
yeah.
you know, it's also okay to say I'm struggling with this. I don't know how I feel about this, and I need more information, and I'd like to be better
Mm,
informed. I'd like to be better, you know, in terms of being able to talk about this subject.
mm,
And it feels at the moment like we are, you know, we're just pouncing or jumping on anybody that dares to have opinions, and we are sitting in these really sort of extreme camps of opinion. And rather than being able to have a dialogue where we say, yeah, I might get this wrong. I might say the wrong thing here because I'm not informed enough, but it's not coming from a place of malice. It's not coming from a place of hatred. It's coming from a place of, I don't understand yet. So please help me.
mm.
And it felt last night, I was just watching the show. I was getting more and more frustrated with what they were saying and the sort of uh, opinions they were throwing out there around subjects that are really uh, that really make people very agitated and very angry. And it, we still seem to be stuck in this sort of, there's a soundbite, and rather than, so I'm going to go, yeah. So one of the sound bites they talked about last night was this 80/20 again,
Ah,
which we've spoken about.
yeah.
And I just get, you know, like it's well, I mean, we touched on it in an episode earlier, and it's like, where does that data come from? Like, where does this statistic that 80% of women fancy 20% of
It's
men? And
fucking
it's,
Jack and Ori, mate.
yeah, yeah, it's absolute nonsense. And I actually, but on a mainstream show on British TV, You know, I don't know how many millions of people were watching that, but that statistic was thrown out again, and no one said, actually, this is nonsense. It's just a headline.
Mm.
And I read an article about it the other day, actually, and it comes from some study, and it's not true. It comes from a study that was done on, I don't know, 100 people. So it's not got any great sort of resonance. It's not got
Fucking
any
hell.
great depth to this,
Yeah. Yeah.
but also it's not true. So it's like saying, so out of those 80% of the women, 10% of them might have liked this 20% of men,
Mm.
and this 10% of women might like this 20% of men. So it wasn't just the 20% of men. It was like it's just data turned
So
into some headline.
yeah, there's a narrative. Obviously, there's a clear incentive for a certain narrative, and that's all they're worrying about by the
Yeah.
sounds of it, from what you're describing. You've heard the saying, "Be careful what you read; you might die of a misprint."
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that says it all,
Yeah.
right? Don't believe what people fucking tell you.
Mm.
Go and find out. Do some research, man. You know, fuck. I keep coming back to this. I get really, yeah. I'm a little bit tired, so I'm going to be a bit raucous now. But it's embarrassing. Come on, where's your intelligence, people? Stop believing what people tell you blindly, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Fuck's sake, wake up. Snap out of it. Stop being so fucking hypnotized by the bullshit. Anyway, that's just the way I see it. Um, I just had to say that disclaimer, all right? I don't know, but anyway, like, so it's kind of like it's theatre.
It's
I,
theatre.
you know Banksy, right?
Yeah.
Did that amazing picture painting
Yep. Which
of
one?
um of of the monkeys in
Yeah, yeah,
Parliament.
yeah.
Yeah, in Parliament. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, I mean, you know, and you can say that about a lot of stuff. What that statement, what he's done, that piece of art's very provocative as much as what you was just talking about, as how provocative that narrative is. Because it's about getting people thinking and getting people into a frenzy. And it's certainly done a trick, done a number on you, isn't it? Because like yeah, it's made you, um, you know, it's what do we do with that? You know, what do we do with that? And that's what I feel. I love Banksy because he's done that. You know, he's turned. He sees what you see, sees what a lot of people see. He's like the voice for the people,
Mm.
and he creates art to express how he feels about it and to make people question and think. And he's basically saying, kind of suggesting what I'm saying, which is, you know, don't believe what you're told, man. You know,
But
question the narrative.
don't I also I'm just trying to think about this in terms of it really feels like that in the Western world at this moment in time. And I'm sure there are other governments who are that are in a similar position, but might have a slightly more violent way of inflicting their power. But um,
God.
I I was watching a documentary on Scandinavia the other
Hmm.
day. Again, a BBC documentary. But this guy was in Norway, and he
Hmm.
was looking at how Norwegian society and the Norwegian government works. And it's one of those countries where the surveys always come back in terms of this is one of the best places to live. Everyone's very content. Everyone's very happy. It definitely helps that they have an incredible. They found oil, sort of, I don't know, in 1980 or something. They found the biggest reserve of oil ever, and they have the most ridiculous amount of money. So they relate, but what's good about that is that they give it back to their citizens. So the
Mm.
society is living in a very happy and very comfortable position. But because of that, and because of the way the country works, there's an incredible amount of trust. There's a trust in that the people that are looking after them are going to do the right thing. And I think at the moment we sit in a place where the trust in institutions, the trust in leadership in terms of, you know, pretty much every sort of powerful, uh I can't think of the word, but you know, all of these different institutions, I think I'm just going to stick with that. Institutions are seen to be fallible, are seen to not be doing the right thing by us as a society. And
Mm.
I think, you know, there are there are little there are little pockets of resistance. Like you said, there's Banksy, there's artists that are trying to buck the system and to say this is wrong. But it all seems very fragmented. And what it means is that it feels to me there's a lack of leadership at the top where we can have trust. And I think trust is a really big word. And what that leaves with that hole, with there being no trust, is a big empty space where you just get lots of people shouting and saying things that are uh, going to get them followed. That are
Yeah,
going, they're trying to get, they are being loud and they are being harsh,
they're being raucous, man.
being raucous.
So theatre, pantomime. If we go to any panto, I went to panto. My dear friend Paul, who's died, bless him. Miss you, Paul. Love you, Paul. And he died. Lost him. Fallen brother. Died earlier this year. Um, he was playing the lead in a panto up in Liverpool, and and um, and it was amazing. I sat next to the mayor of Camden, or who's the ex-mayor of Camden.
Okay.
It was when I was working with the Amy Winehouse Foundation,
Right.
and we went up there and watched the pantomime.
Hmm.
And Paul was the lead in it, and it was really great. But you know, imagine the pantomime, right? So you've got the all the characters that are in panto, right? You've been
Hmm.
to pantomime, right?
Not for years and years, but yeah, yeah.
But
I
you
know.
know, there's like the ugly sisters, and
Yeah,
there's all of that. You know, I can't remember which one it was, but it was the classic panto, British panto. And if you're not from the UK, look it up. I don't. They must have pantomimes in other countries, surely. Or is it a British thing?
I think it's very British.
Okay, all right. Well, it's kind of like a seaside, kind of like Punch and Judy show, but it's on the stage and it's a
That's not
pantomime.
going to help. That's very British as well.
Okay, well, anyway, look it up, people, if you're not from the UK. But anyway, British pantomime is think big wigs, big costumes, big makeup, big voices,
Raucous behaviour.
big characters, raucous behaviour. Now, there's that, and that's entertainment,
Hmm.
right? And you can take it or leave it. If you go and watch Panto, you're probably going to have a good time. It is fun.
Hmm.
You might even be lucky enough to get pulled up out your seat and onto stage if you're lucky or unlucky.
Hmm.
Um, and it's very raucous. It's loud. It's hard. You know, it is harsh. If you get dragged on stage and get your pants pulled down by the big freaking ugly sisters, it can be quite harsh.
Yeah, yep.
Not that I've had that happen to me. Um, but it's harsh, it's loud, it's big characters, it's panto.
Hmm.
And then you've got what you was just describing. Now, what's the difference? My point is, it's theatre,
Yeah.
right? I don't take it seriously. Does anyone, people listening, do you take it seriously? Honestly, right? I pay to go to the panto or go to a pantomime or theatre or whatever, right? Or the cinema.
Mm.
And 2 hours of my life, I go and watch something. I have a bit of a good time, bit of escapism, and I walk away, and I'm like, oh, you know, that was nice. I got to escape the monotony of. I wouldn't say the monotony because my life isn't monotonous, but you know, I get to have a bit of entertainment for a couple of hours, right? And then you've got all the stuff we watch. I don't subscribe to it. I don't watch any of it, but the stuff that you was watching that you was describing.
Hmm.
I don't think there's a lot of difference in what I'm describing to what you're describing. It's all just, to me, it's just characters that
Yeah.
are on stage and their mouths are moving and they got something coming out of their mouth that it's a fine line between panto and some of the shit that we have to get subjected to. And I don't subscribe to that shit. I just turn off. I love panto. I'd go to another panto because it's fun, right? And it's raucous, but it's a different kind of raucous.
Yeah.
It's
And
not it's not like I'm not going to be subjected to walking away from there feeling like I'm not getting what I'm meant to be getting. I know exactly what I'm getting. It's just I know exactly what I'm walking into, and when I walk away, I'm like, yeah, I got that. But
yeah.
when you look at the stuff that you're looking at, you never feel fulfilled.
No. And there's a containment to it, isn't it? You know, as you said, there's costumes, there's makeup, there's massive wigs, there's a ridiculousness to it.
Frilly knickers that they wear outside their leggings.
Yeah, yeah.
Anything goes, man.
And I
And
just
it's kind of like that in the other realm.
but it's not contained, is it? And it's not obvious. And it's not clear that what everyone is doing now is trying to get a voice, is trying to be the person, is trying to be, you know, fame is everything. Those 15 minutes of fame is everyone is clamoring for that rather than going, actually, this would be the best thing to do for
Mm,
people going forward.
mm.
And it's, I mean, the other thing I watched last night, I've just remembered this, and it's a program called Common Side Effects, and it's an animation, and the premise of it is this guy finds this mushroom that cures anything.
Oh,
Doesn't matter what it is, common cold, Alzheimer's, a bullet wound, it cures
really?
everything.
What is it? Hang on, is this for real?
No.
Oh,
It's a fiction animation. But the
okay.
idea being is that he's found this mushroom, and all the pharmaceutical companies and all the governments and all the FBI and are after him because they don't want that. They don't want everyone to be cured. They want their industry and their money. And the thing is, you watch it, and even though it's a cartoon, it's and the animation points is beautiful and quite realistic, but other points like the humans are in it are quite grotesque. Uh, and and it's so believable. The story is so believable, and you just think, you know, all these conspiracy theories, these ideas that, you know, there's the conspiracy theory that actually they do have the cure for the common cold. It's just that they make so much money from paracetamol and aspirin that they're never gonna release it. You know, all of those, it has that sort of premise to it, and it's
Okay.
yeah, it's really good. But again, it goes back to what I was saying in terms of this idea of trust, that
Mm,
we let we are letting at this moment in time people do things to us without questioning them,
yeah.
but also not questioning them in a way that is collective and
Mm,
organized uh and not raucous,
mm.
because what's happening is people are standing up and shouting and screaming on their own individual
Yeah.
platforms.
Yeah, yeah. So I've been in the Houses of Parliament, right, a couple of times, right? And I've been right next to, Big Ben, the marvelous Big Ben, right?
Hmm.
I've been right in the building, right in that bit, right? And it's like bomb proof, bulletproof. It's everything proof, noise proof. You can't hear shit outside them windows, man.
Right.
Right? And imagine all the people that go up there and do their marches and that, and it's just it's noise cancellation, man. You know what I mean? And
Hmm.
it's like it's two ways of looking at it, because the people out in the street making a noise, they can appear to be quite raucous also,
Yeah.
but have they got a voice? Um, I just think, for me, I just feel that what I'm pulling from this whole conversation we're having so far is how it relates to me, Raucous. You know, there's two ways of looking at it for me. How have I been raucous in my life? Am I
Hmm.
still raucous? Now, for me, I've started to, I feel from what we're talking about, start to think that maybe part of being raucous is about disruption,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So, it's like, oh, it's the raucous kid in the class, right?
Hmm.
I mean, it's a weird word when we start using the word raucous. It's not a sort of word you use a lot in common dialect or common
Mm.
dialogue, is it really? Like I said earlier on, I just think of Basil Fawlty in 40 Towers, right? And I can talk about that all day long because I love John Cleese, I love Monty Python, I love 40 Towers. Now, I tried to watch that. I did watch the whole season. I think it's 2 seasons, isn't there?
Yeah, yeah. I think it's only two
They
seasons.
only ever did 2 seasons. Now I've got my suspicions that it was so raucous that they couldn't make anymore,
Mm.
it was so chaotic. Now
Mm.
back in the day when I used to, um, be in a different headspace, and my head was quite raucous and chaotic and, all of that stuff. I kind of warmed more to, I sort of like, was attracted. Your vibe attracts your tribe, all that stuff. So naturally, I seem to effortlessly be attracted to and attract um, a bit of drama and a bit of a kerfuffle and chaos and noise and, all of that stuff. So watching 40 Towers, I always loved it, but I tried to watch it more in more recent times, and it was quite discombobulating to me because it is so chaotic, so unmanageable. It's genius. I love it. I freaking love it. And I love the characters and how they interact, and it's just genius. It's amazing. But so I relate to Raucous in that sense, I think I used to be attracted to all of it as much as I used to create a lot of it
Yeah.
and be it. Right, and, I could walk into a room and be the loud one, "Rah," with no off button. Um, I can still be like that, I really can, but I feel like my energy and the spirit of which I do it is different, you know? I disrupt now to help people, Whereas before it might have been like, I'm pulling a pin out on this grenade, man. I'm gonna walk into a room and go, "Right, where shall I throw it?" You know?
So, do you see Raucous as a rebellion? Then, do you see Raucous as a sort of, do you see Raucous as punk? Do you see Raucous as like, this is anarchy? This is someone putting their head above the parapet and saying, "This, we can do things differently."
To a certain degree, yeah. I mean, raucous. I feel like we don't get. This is what I said earlier when I pulled the word out. I was like, we need to pull it out of context.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we're just going to go down one avenue with it, and we're going to.
Hmm.
And like always, we've got to, break that shit open. And this is what the TVR is all about: is let's deep dive into and unpack, um, you know, experience and perspective and how we relate to ourselves and each other in the world, and how can we maybe make some changes, some positive change for the greater good, right?
Mm.
That's how I see it. So raucous, let's pull it out of context. To me, raucous has a connotation to. I keep going back to it. 40 Towers, John Cleese's character, 40 Towers, Basil, Manuel, it's such a culturally rich British sitcom comedy. It's genius and it's fucking brilliant. And I
Hmm.
love it. I'm the biggest fan of it. Um, so that's where, for me, that's what I relate to Raucous, right? But to pull it out of context, yeah, I do feel like disruption, same thing. It's quite evocative
Mm.
um, word, narrative,
Yeah.
disruption, being raucous, um, rebellion. You know, it all sounds quite um it's provocative, right?
Yeah.
Now, it doesn't have to be. We've got to get past words, people. We've got to get past stigma attached and associated to words. Like, you know, if you really look under the skin of it all, you know, disruption. How are you ever going to change your life if you don't disrupt the status quo? Right? Take drug addiction. Know that one well,
Mhm.
right? Dependency to chemicals, right? Narcotics, right? I'm medicating myself. How am I ever going to change that and get off of that? Get off of that and get out of that episode and get out of the cycle of addiction if I'm not going to disrupt it? You know. So
Yeah.
it is like a raucous act of rebellion to turn against the stream of and the flow of what the perpetuating cycle of whatever the hell it is that you're in. Like, how are you ever going to change your lifestyle if you have a unhealthy lifestyle? How are you ever going to change that for the better? You know, to better yourself and everyone, and enrich your life and everyone in it. If you don't use a bit of disruption, yeah, and it is. It's got there is a raucous attitude to that. You got to sort of, you know, you got to take the bull by the horns and get a bit lively, man, and take some action. You got to be a bit raucous.
Yeah, you gotta be loud and harsh with yourself, haven't you?
Exactly.
You've got to be shouting in your head
Exactly.
and saying, "This is enough, and
Exactly.
this isn't good enough."
Yeah. And someone said to me once, you know, you got to treat yourself like a little dog that you're training.
Okay.
I don't know if I've said this before, but this is appropriate right here, right now. You know, you got to treat yourself like a little pup that you're training, because if you don't train that pup, it's going to be, well, it's going to be untrained, and it's going to know it's not going to have any boundaries. It's not going to know what's right or wrong, and it's just going to be wild,
Mm.
right? So you got to train it. Like, no one's going to train the pup unless you do it. You got to see that you're like a little puppy, and you got to literally tell yourself, you know, I need to do this. I need to do that. Right. Come on. We're doing this. Come on. We've got to go this way. That's how we got to have that inner dialogue with ourselves.
Mm.
Because if no one else is doing it to help and assist in that, who's doing it? I'm just using it. I'm just trying to pull it out of context and using it in a different way as an
Yeah.
example. As an example, excuse me.
Yeah, no, it really makes me it makes me think about how we are wired, particularly, I would say, in this country, to to turn away from raucous behavior, is to have that sort of disdain and just sort of like, "Oh my god, they're just being loud and noisy." And I think about the kids that are being disruptive, that are being loud and raucous, and it's like we need to just put them somewhere else, and we don't need to actually consider what might be happening for them. Um, and actually digging deeper into why those behaviors are exhibiting, because we don't like chaos. We sort of want a calmness and an equilibrium. We don't want to challenge ourselves or other people if they are not being uh normal. I'm saying normal as in, like, people's perceived perceptions
Mm.
of what normal is. And if people are step outside that sort of boundary, what do we do with it? And how do we help those people? How do we support those people? How do we communicate with those people whose behaviors don't fit uh the sort of the equilibrium that we're trying to create?
Mm.
And I think that goes back to what you're saying in terms of that chaos. you started to talk about your, your addiction and the chaos that created in your life, and how many people actually saw that and gave you the tools to help you work your way out of it.
Mm. Yeah, and it's I just use that as an example because it's an obvious one for me, but it's loads of different things that you can apply that to. Do
Mm.
you know what I mean? It's like, don't like the job you're doing? Okay, well, if you don't disrupt, the equilibrium, and if nothing changes, right? So it's a spirit in which it's an attitude. Now, some people are just raucous by their very nature. I mean, we can't name names, but there's loads of characters out there, these pantomime characters that are out there in life, larger than life characters that appear to be quite raucous. Some of them are hilariously funny. Some of them are fictional. Some of them appear to be real, like they're genuine people. But, I sometimes question, is that actually who they are, though? Or is it just an act? Are they just playing a role?
I mean, that's made me think straight away of Robin Williams. I mean,
Yeah.
he was the king of chaos. I often think now, and obviously in retrospect, it's much easier. But you watch interviews with him on chat shows or whatever, and he just absolutely descends whatever the show is into chaos with his, and it's mania, it's manic, and it's like, why did nobody see that? Why did no one go, Jesus, your whole shtick, your whole routine is absolute chaos,
Mm.
and it 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 just it he just had this ability just to descend into this, this. I mean, his thoughts must be, his head must have been so full of noise at
Mm.
those points, and then I imagine he probably just switched and was just absolutely exhausted. Having, I mean, again, I'm guessing, but I know people that have that sort of mania to them. That can be the life and soul of the party one minute, and then it's like a switch has been flicked, and
Mm.
I'm just gonna, disappear now. And no one bothers to actually look at what is happening there. No one looks. They enjoy the exuberance, the theatricalness, but they don't think, why is that happening, or what is going on beyond that. There's no questioning and no thinking any deeper.
Yeah, I like where you've gone with this. Again, another fallen brother,
Mm.
you know, in Robin Williams. Bless him, man. Um, but yeah, I like where you've gone with that, and I like the mania, the word mania, and what that brings up. It makes sense to me. I can really see that there is a lot of mania associated to displays of, you know, brashness. Is that even a word? I don't know.
Hmm.
Is that a
Yeah.
kind of word as well? Just came to me. Um, so do you feel in your own life, Ben, just out of interest, how is what we're talking about? Has this been something that you've bared witness to personally yourself? Does this sort of do you feel this is part of your, you know, part of your I don't know, part of your formative life, way of doing things?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't, I wouldn't subscribe myself to that necessarily, but it's not always easy to step outside of yourself and see what other people see.
Yeah.
And I would suggest, with the tribe that I've connected with, as you said earlier, that there must be uh, a certain sort of manic behavior in the collective of people that I associate with. And I think, like, it could be something like food, or it could be something like uh buying stuff. I mean, I remember, Stephen Fry talked very famously in a documentary about his bipolar, and like, he'd have these episodes where he would just buy thousands, tens of thousands of pounds worth of stuff over the course of a week, where he would just be in this complete manic stage. And I think any behaviors where you step outside of the norm and go, right, I need to consume all this, and everything gets very, very quick and then very fast. And if we were able to hold a mirror up to ourselves and say, like, this is, you did this at this point, which is, it's always impossible to do when you sit in those sort of phases of your life. But it's like you just don't know. You don't know that you're exhibiting those behaviors. And I think I have in the past. Well, I know I have in the past, where things just get so uh so quick. Like, you don't see it as fast. You see it as I'm living normally, but actually what you're just doing is things are just speeding up, and it's just getting quicker and quicker and quicker until suddenly it stops. Then you crash, and then there's a moment of like, oh God, that's all happened. How did that happen? I just let everything get on top of me, and I just let it all happen.
Mm.
And I think that is very much modern life as well. So I wouldn't say that I'm special in any way, or I wouldn't diagnose myself with any particular uh, mental health condition. But I think that I exhibit what modern life is doing to people, which is it's becoming quicker and quicker and quicker, and
Mm.
it's like everyone's in a rush. This raucous, this raucous, loud, harsh world we live in is
Mm.
making us speed up and think things have to happen now.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm gonna it is apt. So I'm gonna bring it into the mix because we was talking about this um off record, and I'm gonna bring it in because it's relevant. And I'm gonna use this again because it's really felt quite apt. So we were talking about how our experiences of how we struggle, and correct me if I'm wrong, we was talking about it, how I struggle and how you struggle, how we struggle with um, placing ourselves online,
Mm,
right, in the world and we're not alone. And there's many people I know that they're with us on this, because us oldies, us crusties, us veterans, we remember a time where, it wasn't so savage. Yeah, because there's a savageness to it,
mhm,
in my opinion. It feels quite savage. It's a cutthroat, dog eat dog. Let's trample on each other's shoulders to get fucking seen. Let's get my head above the. I need to be seen quick. It's that.
mm,
And I say that metaphorically speaking, kind of thing, but that's how it feels to me. The energy of being caught in all of that noise, right? Online, the online space, right? It's like being at a freaking busy airport as security, and you're late for your plane. You've got to get to your plane. You've got to get on that plane, and there's a million people in front of you. You've got to get through security, and like no one gives a fuck.
mhm,
And you're like, please, I need to get through. And they're like, don't give a fuck. I'm being selfish right now, motherfucker.
mm.
I normally try and sort of cancel out the second word on that. Sorry, I apologise to anyone if I've insulted anyone with that double-barreled profanity. Anyway, some passion in there. But you know what I mean? It's that sort of, it feels like that to me. That's how it feels to me to be on that space, right? And I came up with that thing about you know, it's a bit like if you look at any documentary or picture of Mount Everest,
Mhm,
in modern day. If If you look at how people used to approach getting to the top of Mount Everest 20 years ago, let's say, might be 5 people, couple of dudes and some Sherpas
Mhm.
doing the final ascent to the top. No selfie required when you get there.
Mhm.
Just enjoying the moment, being there with your little crew, enjoying the journey at your, slow pace, no rush. This cruise up to the top of Mount Everest. Yeah, it's hard. We'll get there. But when we get there, we're the only ones up there and we're standing on top of the world and it's beautiful. And we're doing it for no other reason other than to just, you know, enjoy the moment and the peace that's up there.
Mhm.
Wow. Right? I would love to do it. But then you've got modern day ascent of Mount Everest. If you look at a picture of it, if people are listening, you ain't got a clue what I'm talking about. Google, fucking, I shouldn't have said that word. Blah. Look up, look up, search, or watch a documentary on Mount Everest, modern day Mount Everest ascents. Even at the base camp, you've got a whole city there now,
Mm.
a raucous base camp. Hustle bustle. You can't even have a chill down at base camp preparing for your ascent.
Yeah.
You've got a city there.
The amount of pollution is
You know what
disgusting.
I mean? Well, they'll put a runway in there soon. I'm telling you, there'll be private jets landing with all these freaking private jet owners that come in to want to get their selfie on the top of Mount Everest. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Because that's what it's turned into,
Yeah.
right? That we're in a freaking raucous frenzy, mad. We're not meant to be living like this society fucking thing. And it's just the way I see it. Doesn't mean I'm right. Some of you might agree with me. Some of you might think, shut the fuck up, Dave. You're just a dick. I don't care. It's how I see it.
Mm.
Right? It's how I see it. And um, you look at Mount Everest now, and I've seen enough films on it. I've turned off from them now. I've given up. It's just boring to me to watch these teams. And there's famous cases of people that have died up there because of it.
Mhm.
Because they've run out of oxygen. Do you know what I mean? And that's how it feels.
Mm.
It's symbolic. I feel like I'm running out of oxygen when I'm on there. I'm talking about the online space here. I'm just making a freaking connection between it's a metaphor for how we live our lives on that space in this modern world, right? And Mount Everest. And I feel like I'm running out of oxygen, just like the people that run out of oxygen up there. Because if you watch the films, if you look at the pictures, there's like a massive queue. They're all backed up. They're all waiting to get to the top to get their selfie so they can post it and go, look at me. I got on top of Mount Everest. And what was the journey like? You had to shuffle your way up there. You shuffled your way up there.
Mm.
You didn't climb it. You shuffled your way to the top of Mount Everest to take a freaking selfie. Sorry to anyone who's listening who's shuffled their way up to the top of Mount Everest to get your selfie. I'm really sorry if I'm offending you, but correct me if I'm wrong. Drop me an email if I'm chatting shit. You will have shuffled your way up to the top of Mount Everest, and that's how it feels. So what I'm describing is the energy of how we're living in that whole space. And I don't like it. And we was talking about it, how we struggle to shuffle our way. We don't want to be shuffling our way to the top of the Mount Everest. We want to do it how we did it 20 years ago, where we're not doing it for that reason. We're just doing it. Have I gone completely off piece for that?
No, 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 and I think it for me, it feels like the journey. It feels like it isn't the destination. It isn't the picture on top of Everest that is the important thing. Yes, uh that is the resolution, that is the climax, that is the ending of the story. Or it's not really because you have to come back down. But it's the journey, it's the pilgrimage, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's what happens on that journey.
Yeah.
And if that journey is surrounded by noise and other people and pollution and just, yeah, it doesn't feel special or spiritual in any shape or form. You know, go and walk up, you know, go and walk 20 miles and find a really nice hill when no one else is, where near where
Mm,
you live. It's
mm.
like it's, you know, that journey is the important part of it. And I can't see that there's any way that you feel special if you're doing what everyone else is doing.
Well, they've got a selfie picture, so of course they feel special because
Yeah.
they're getting validation from it. "Oh, well done, you got to the top of Mount Everest." "Yeah, it's really hard. It's such a, massive climb." "Oh, you shuffled your way up there."
You queued your way up there.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
and put a lot of people in danger because your need to get to the top of a mountain to take a
Mm.
selfie. Now, it sounds like I'm making a blanket, um, judgment. So please, anyone that's got a different version, correct me if I'm wrong. But it's just the way I see it. And, it's just the way I see it. And I've seen enough documentaries on it to know that even the people that work there, the Sherpas do all right.
Yeah, the Sherpas are doing great.
That's the good thing. The Sherpas do all right out of it. They're in business.
Mm.
They're doing well. But there's been some deaths up there because of the chaos, the mania. And it's not just Mount Everest. This is the world we live in. Because we're all carrying a freaking computer in our pockets everywhere, and we want to take photos of all these things that we're doing. We want to document it all. It's turned into a commodity.
Mhm.
I just think it's bizarre.
Yeah, and there's nothing to balance it with. There's nothing to balance the good bits.
Mm.
Like, it's almost like, there you go. That's an idea. We'll start a social media which is all about the bad bits. So if you're having a really shit day and you're feeling really sad, okay, then that's what you post. You don't worry about the bit where you get through that. Oh, this day I'm feeling really horrible and grim. And the realities of life is that there's no point it all being good because it doesn't. There's no yin and yang. There's
Mm.
no nothing to measure it by.
Mm.
And I feel at the moment we are chasing this idea that we can reach some sort of perfection, some sort of nirvana where everything, every minute, every second of our day is fine, is great. We live in this perfect world, and it's not possible. And like you said, in terms of everyone chasing that getting to the summit of Everest, is for every person that's getting there, someone is suffering, and someone's having to do some work to get you there, hence the Sherpas. And yes,
Yeah.
some of them are doing very well financially from it, but there's also a lot of, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of the Sherpa community is getting quite decimated, and some bad stuff's happening there. And I can't quite remember why I'm thinking that, but
Um,
the
y-
servicing around Everest is suffering.
yeah, I've seen some footage of fights that have happened between Sherpas and, yeah, and us, um, white males, us dickheads that, want to think we can conquer a mountain. It's
Hmm.
ridiculous and ludicrous. But yeah, I just feel like it's all just got a bit out of hand. Like I think with everything, it's got a bit out of hand. It's just, to me, it's quite embarrassing to know that as humans we've got to this. It's embarrassing to me.
Hmm.
I do. I feel really disheartened that we live in this kind of, you know, seems to be in a world where we're so obsessed and fixated on being loud and harsh, to what, like we'll literally trample on people's shoulders to get where we want to. It's not everyone. I'm not saying this is everyone. I'm just saying that there's a lot of that going on. It's just the world we live in, and Mount Everest and what's going on over there it's just a very apt. It's very symbolic because it is like the pinnacle. It's like one of the wonders of the world, right? It's the highest freaking point on the planet. And it just shows the ego in people that they want to be on the top of that mountain. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. 20 years ago, people were doing it. 40 years, people, like people have wanted to get to, climb things because they're there and they want to explore. There's nothing wrong with that. But it's the spirit of which you do it that I'm questioning. This is what I'm just having a dig at the spirit for which it's done. And there's a difference. There's one way of doing it, and then there's another way. And when it's, you know, it's huge money. There's a lot of money in being at base camp and taking people up to the top of Mount Everest. And it's just for a picture, so they can post it on their their Sticky Icky whatever app. They ain't gonna fucking name these apps. You know what I mean? So anyway, look, it's just the way I see it. And do I feel like I'm coming from? Am I bitter? No, I'm not bitter. I'm tired. I'm having a rant. But what I'm saying is, there's something in it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
There's something in it, mate.
It feels to me like there's a lack of honesty and a lack of integrity in so much of modern life.
Mm,
It just feels like we want we want to be part of the noise. We want to be seen so badly that we'll do anything to get there. And we don't want that journey to be too hard. We want to take shortcuts.
mm,
And we were talking earlier about the Beatles, and you were saying about that
yeah.
journey. Like they went, I mean, I'm pretty sure they were massive in Liverpool before they went to Hamburg, but they might not have been. But they would have, like any band, they would have started in their local club, which was the Tavern. Two people would have seen them at the beginning and a dog. They went and told some other people how good they were, and then suddenly it goes from 2 people to 10 people to 100. Then they went to Hamburg, and they did at least a year in Hamburg, didn't they?
Yeah, and they tapped into there's a big art scene going on there.
Yeah,
So there's all the hipsters, all the
yeah.
cool people were in Hamburg at that time in that time. Yeah.
And I think they were playing 2 shows a day or something. I mean,
Yeah.
they were
Yeah.
grafting, and so there wasn't any shortcuts there. And then then they went back to Liverpool, and then I think it was about 3, 4 years into their career, and they go to the States,
Mm.
and then suddenly it all just blows up.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh, and even then, having had that journey, being tight as they were, and they were a really tight foursome in terms of, they had each other, they had the support, they had a friendship. It wasn't like they were Bob Dylan or Elvis Presley where they were sitting there on
Mhm.
their own coping with it. Even then, when it explodes and they get that level of hysteria and fame and
Mania.
mania and raucousness from all their fans,
Yeah, yeah,
even then you can see it blows their minds.
yeah,
Even then they're like, I can't do this.
yeah.
Like this is,
Why?
this, yeah,
Why? What's wrong with these people?
yeah. Like they stopped playing live because they couldn't hear themselves because of the screaming.
Yeah.
It's like, what's the point? No one can hear us.
Yeah.
And uh, I just think, now we want that level of fame tomorrow or tonight. And we don't want to put the graft in. We don't want to put the 4 or 5 years of
Mm.
playing 2 or 3 shows a day and, and working out, the rapport with the crowd and working out how to play songs and how to be tight and how to be a really good band and, how to perform. We don't want to put that sort of effort and time in. We just want this immediacy of
Mm.
saying, yeah, you're great, you're brilliant. And it doesn't work. It doesn't give, there's no longevity to that. And that means that people are constantly feeling this could disappear any second.
Absolutely. And I know so many people, man, who are in the biz and there's some smart cookies, man, that I know, and they're in the long game. And this is what I'm in.
Mhm.
I always said it to you, you know, I want to be a garage band. Let's just be the garage band, man. Right. And then what we'll do, we'll do our Hamburg years, right?
Mhm.
And then we'll do America. That's the way I see it. It's like there's no rush, man. Just enjoy the fucking. I don't want
You're not getting me on a plane,
to drink your milk.
you crazy
Drink
fool.
drink your milk. Drink this lovely glass of milk. You'll enjoy the flight. But you know, this is the way I operate. This is my perspective of how I see things, and it's always how I've operated. I've never needed that frenzy, that mania, to get me where I need to get to, ever. Right? And I trust that. Is an inner trust
Do
that
you
comes
think
from
that
that.
when you were back in your formative years
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and you were in that sort of destructive mindset of I'm gonna consume whatever I'm gonna consume, was there never any part of you that was like, I want this lifestyle, I want this level of attention, or was it about hiding, or was it about gaining some sort of traction?
I just wanted to be loved.
Yeah. So would you, at that point, if someone had presented you with the opportunity, say, I don't know,
Mm.
you could be a pop star, you could be a movie star, what would you have done at that point?
I might have done that, and I would have sabotaged it because I didn't understand what love was.
Hmm.
So I want to be adored.
Hmm.
Love that song.
Mm.
That's going on the playlist.
For
Uh,
Raucous.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um, but um, yeah, I just wanted to be adored. I wanted to be. Don't we all? I wanted to be
Mm.
loved. I wanted to be loved. Right. I want to. s- Not just then. Now, I want to feel love. I want to know what love is. Now, I'm so blessed that I do know that now. Right. And I want to be able to then, once I know love, what love is, and I know love for myself, and I'm acquainted with love, and I can start to embody it and nurture it and be with love and be an embodiment of what love is, then I can pass that on
Hmm.
and share that love, which I do. It's a beautiful thing. And that's taken me many years to cultivate that. And so you asked me that question back in the day, I just wanted to be loved. Right now, my mum and dad love me. My brother loves me. Hey, Paul. Right. Um, I've got to give my brother props, by the way. If anyone's listening to our intro outros, man, that's my bro, Paul Noble. Check him out. There's a link on the description. That song is just fucking incredible.
Beautiful.
There we go. Um, and they love me. Right? People love me, but I just couldn't. I couldn't. I couldn't feel it. Right? And why is that? So, well, maybe there's too much mania blocking it,
Hmm.
right? The raucousness in my life, I was rejecting the admiration that people held for me. And I'm not talking about Beatlemania admiration. I'm talking about I just want to feel loved.
Mm.
Just basic, baseline, primal, innate, fundamental emotion, experience, knowledge of love. I just want to be loved. I want to feel love and I want to be loved and I want to love another and I want to love other people. Right. And I was blocking it.
Yeah. And I wonder, in terms of when we are in that mania, that we will consume as much as possible of whatever we choose to consume, which includes love, which includes what we might perceive as love. So I believe that at this moment in time, so many of us are wanting to be loved, to be held, to be part of something, that they will take anything, and they will take as much as possible, without actually seeing that that the 60,000 likes means nothing to the 2 likes.
Mm.
If that makes sense in terms of it's quality versus quantity.
Yeah.
And, you know, if the 2 likes turn into 4 likes, turn into 6 likes, but all of those people are really invested
Yeah.
in what you're doing and are actually part of that community, part of that idea, or sharing an ideology
Mhm.
of connection, of creativity, of positivity, of, you know, of not rushing, of not being part of the noise.
Yeah.
It's so much more powerful, and that's the journey.
Yeah.
That's the positive journey. You know, like
Uh,
if if the Beatles had woken up after releasing a single in their first in 1961 as a, I don't know when they formed, but it would have been around then, wouldn't it? My Beatles knowledge is a little bit loose in terms of dates. Um, but if they had, you know, formed one week, released a single the next week, and then boom, would they have survived that? Or would they just be another band that had gone, this is too much, I can't cope with this? You know, rather than the band they turned into because they'd had that formative time and space. You know, again, it's the journey, not the destination.
yeah.
It's not the top of Everest. It's the fact of how you climb up it,
Yeah.
and in
So
what mindset you do that in.
yeah. Yeah, yeah, I love that. I love that. I love that, right? So what's come up for me is synergy. I
Yeah.
think synergy is the essence of the spirit and energy in which you do something. Now, with those guys, just thinking of their characters, individually, they all had a very strong personality.
Mm,
And they got on, plus where they came from. By their very nature, it's in their DNA to be a certain type of person because they're fucking great. I nearly moved up to Liverpool. They're great people, man. They got a good spirit and heads on them.
hmm
They got big hearts. They're good
mm,
people. If you've never been to Liverpool, people go. All right, they're good people. They know how to fucking look after their own. All right, and people that aren't from there, actually, to be fair,
mm.
in my opinion. Anyway, that's just what I think. But I had this. They had synergy, so it carried them. And if they didn't have that, maybe if they were from like Scunthorpe. I'm not knocking Scunthorpe. I'm not sure I've ever been to Scunthorpe.
I
Uh,
my flatmates when I was at university were all from Lincolnshire. Well, not all of them, about 4 of them from
uh,
Lincolnshire and Scunthorpe and all around there. They
yeah,
always used to go on about if you ever watch like where murders happen, it's near in
yeah.
Willie, Lincolnshire. So
Oh
I've always got
God,
this opinion of like, is that true? You watch like Lincolnshire and Scunthorpe, and you're like,
yeah,
yeah. Unfortunately, as well, it's just a really bad sounding name, isn't it?
yeah. Anyway, I just picked that up out of the air. Just Anyway, I can't think. I don't know of any well-known bands that are from there.
From just Scunny.
Yeah. But anyway, I'm just saying they had some synergy. They had something. They had some synergy. They had something that could get them through. That took them. It was meant to be. It was in the stars, man. The stars lined up. It was their time, and it happened. It was meant to happen for whatever reason, to bring joy to the world, even if it didn't bring joy to their lives, which I'm pretty sure it did, to a certain degree. Who knows? Who knows? But um, I think that the way I see it, integrity, authenticity, the spirit of which you do things, authenticity, integrity, as long as you have those at the forefront of your everything, then you're good. Now, me and you, I know from my own personal where I'm placed in life and what I'm doing and where I'm at, they're my they're my two things that I do not compromise on.
Hmm
I will never compromise them. And I like to think, I know you, Ben. I think you're the same, right? And there's a bit of synergy going on here. So, right, for me and you, I'm just saying, for me and you, we're good, right?
Mm,
And but then you look at outside of that, right? Outside of that, so anyone listening, do you relate? Is authenticity? Do you feel that you are authentic in what you do? Do you hold integrity as the key thing that you will not compromise in your life, even if it means sacrificing, you know, getting somewhere? Do you have to sell your soul to, is there that thing, the transaction with the devil, as they say, to get ahead? Does that require you being loud and harsh? I don't know.
I think it takes lots of strength as well, and I appreciate you saying I have integrity.
I
I
think
also
you
think,
do, unless I'm
yeah,
completely mistaken, and
I
you're
also think it's something I have to. It's
a
something that I've had to build. It's something I think I yeah, I believe in my journey that it's, I've messed up a lot. I've made a lot of mistakes to where I would say my integrity was a question. And
Mm,
that's not necessarily chasing fame or anything like that. But in terms of personal relationships and actions that I have done, I am very confident that my I've 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 been terrible, and I I haven't held my integrity and said, actually, no, this is what I believe in, so this is what I'm going to do.
yeah,
And I think it's something. I think again, it's part of that journey. It's definitely for me. It's something that I've had to. I feel that I have more integrity and more wholeness and more honesty now than I ever have done in my life,
mm,
and it's definitely taken, you know, the third act, as you call it, as we get to this point in my life, in our lives, and in my life specifically at this moment, that that integrity is something I've really had to grow and nurture and nourish, because I think in the past I've chased things that I know haven't been uh integral to what I believe.
mm.
So I'm just putting that out there. I think it's integrity is a really tough one, and I think we all make mistakes.
Yeah, but I mean, to be integral, you've got to know how to be. It's like yin yang, isn't it? I mean, it's
Yeah.
like I think to get to like I I I was going to write a piece. I left it out of my book, but I'm sure I was going to write a piece. It will go in somewhere along the line. All saints as sinners,
Hmm.
right? And what that meant to me, and what I was writing was that you know most people that end up in an ashram or a temple or a church or on a path of redemption, well, clues in the word redemption.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Now, some people are just born like with a halo, maybe,
Or maybe not.
maybe not. Some people, I don't know. Maybe they are, maybe they're not. I don't know. Who knows? But I think I was born with a halo, but my halo, I think I might have just used it as a frisbee and it never came back. It never came back. Maybe I used it as some sort of like Jedi freaking, and
Yeah.
it just never came back. But no, it did come back. It's like a boomerang. It came back 20 years later.
Yeah, yeah. Once you substitute it for some glow sticks in the
Yeah.
glasses.
Yeah. I took the halo off, snapped it, and
Yeah.
went, let's have it. And then and then and then I realigned and put the halo back on.
Yeah.
But point is, all saints are sinners.
Yeah.
Maybe. It was a piece that I was writing just to sort of, like everything, bit like here with TVR. Let's have a little dig, see what's. So with Raucous, I do feel that I keep going back to Fawlty Towers and Basil. Um,
And he's got some demons.
yes, and of course he's a fictional character, brilliant character that John Cleese created. It's just genius, brilliant, love it. And I just think has Basil got integrity? Ah, is Basil being authentic? I think he's just being his authentic self. I think he doesn't know any other way. I think he might have actually been born Basil, like, you know, that
Yeah,
mania.
yeah, yeah. He hasn't got, like, because I'm sure there's an episode. Well, there are episodes where he gets offered something, or someone's giving him more money, or he has no integrity whatsoever. And he will sell his soul quite happily because
Yeah.
he wants to be seen as something other. So yeah, I think as a character, he's deeply flawed, but
You gotta love him though,
you gotta love him.
because he's the underdog,
Yeah, yeah,
you know, and he's and most importantly, it's just freaking funny.
yeah.
And it's not real. But I think we can all relate. Maybe, I don't know, maybe we can all relate to some of the characters. And that's what I love about that sort of theatre of life is it's just it's great, man. And getting back to what we were looking at earlier, you've got that, and then you've got all this that's theatre, that's the fluff, so we can have a giggle and have some respite from
Yeah,
the other theatre of life, which is all the other stuff that is presented to us, which is to me, it's just it's theatre. I
yeah,
don't take it. I just don't. You know, do you subscribe to this stuff, people, or are you like me? You just don't worry about it, and you just look at, you know, concentrate on your life. How can I have integrity and authenticity in my life, and that love stuff I was talking about? You know, do I feel love? You know, all I want to be is loved, and I want to give love and know love and share love. You know, and like I said before on here, you know, we all love each other, man. We do. Even the people that we struggle with who are raucous and freaking harsh and shouting about stuff that we don't agree with, we still, you may disagree with me, but it's important that we still have love for these people, you
hmm
know, because deep down, somewhere along the line, they want what we want. They just want love too.
yeah. I saw a piece yesterday, and it was Jordan Stevens talking about a psychologist interviewing um, a certain well-known
Mm.
toxic male. I'm not even going to name him.
Oh, okay. I think I know what you mean.
Yeah,
Cryptic, but I know what you mean. Yeah, yeah.
but the what the psychologist did was to not go in with an agenda, was to let this person talk
Mm,
and let them actually give you their whole picture, their whole story.
mm,
And what he ended up doing was talking about how his father was absent, was
mm.
very demanding, was I think he was an alcoholic. Um, but he created this young person that thought that fame, that power, that was the only way.
Yeah,
And it goes back to what we were talking about right at the beginning, is that any behaviors are going to have some sort of, they're going to have roots, they're going to have a
yeah,
explanation. And I'm not forgiving them in any shape or form. I'm not saying what they're doing or have done is right, but there is a reason.
yeah.
and
Of
and
course.
and I believe that, and I've talked about this many times, but I believe very strongly that there's very few people that really set out to cause harm and malice in the world.
Yeah,
And if they are doing that, then that's coming from something, that's coming from pain, it's coming from
yeah.
hurt.
Of
And
course.
and I just think the dialogues that we need to have in this world need to be kinder and more compassionate.
Yeah,
And the question they were asking last night on this show was, how do we give positive masculine uh, examples for our young men, and making it very polarized again. And it goes, and I just think it goes to the idea that men can be kind and can be strong and can be compassionate and can be all of those things, and can have integrity,
mm,
and you know, you can see that. Again, I know we don't want to name names in terms of politics, but you can see that in where we stand in the biggest country in this world at the moment, and you can see that, was it three leaders ago, where you had a man who had integrity, who had such a way about him that instilled confidence, and you just
Mm.
thought you're going to do the right thing.
Yeah.
And I just think that's what we're lacking at the moment, is people ready to stand up and just go, like, I'm
Yeah.
going to do the right thing
Yeah.
in the right way.
Yeah. I got three three statement lines, and it's I hear you, I feel you, I see you.
Hmm.
That's it. And you can add a fourth one. I love you. Yeah. I hear you, I feel you, I see you, I love you. And if we could all just don't have to say it, but just think it, you know.
Mm.
And if you want feel like you need to say it to someone, say it.
Yeah,
You know. There's a lot in that. You know what I mean? It's about listening, understanding, accepting without judgment.
yeah,
And like you were saying, I always said that, what that psychologist did. I always said this. If I ever met that person that he was interviewing, I wouldn't have got into that arena, boxing gloves. You don't need boxing gloves. It's like, can I give you a hug, mate? I
yeah.
would have given him a massive hug and let him feel, I've done that. I would have done that. I hear you, you know, I feel you because I'm holding you right now. And I see you because I do. I see past the the raucousness of it all, the provocativeness of it all, the mask,
The
the
pain.
persona, the pain. Yeah.
Mm.
And guess what? I love you. And I think that would have been met with the same. I think that would have been a really beautiful moment. And that's someone that in the public general eye, he's like fucking antichrist. That's my response. That's what I'm saying. That's what I feel that this is where we're going wrong. Like, it's just compassion. We've already done that. Compassion, empathy, humility, Don't need to be raucous to raucous people. Kill
Don't
them
need
with
to match the energy.
kindness, as they
Yeah,
say.
yeah.
Right, man.
Right. I think that's a beautiful place to finish for today's conversation.
Mm.
That's been really good. Really, really liked that one.
I didn't think we'd have the legs for it, if I'm honest. I'm tired, and it's just like, oh my god, like, are we really going to be able to pull this off?
Well, I don't think either of us have been particularly raucous, but
Oh my god, I was being a bit raucous about the. I feel like I attacked the people
the,
of Mount Everest and the people that go up it and the whole business is there. Do you know what? I'm sorry if
yeah,
I've offended anyone because it's just me getting passionate and getting on a bit of a banter and a bit of a monologue about things. I get passionate, but ultimately, you know, it's not what they're doing that's the problem, and it's not the people. It's not anyone particular. It's just the sort of way it's all set up. They just need to reframe it a bit, just to make it
mm,
safe, to make it safer.
mm,
Because it's about safeguarding people's lives, man.
mm.
Just make it safer. Just figure a way out of making it work so people don't have to die, run out of oxygen, so people can have a proper experience as best. So they haven't got to shuffle up there. And if they want to take a photo and share it with their loved ones, so be it. Who am I to judge? But I was getting on a little bit of a.
And also, they need to definitely stop polluting the environment, because I mean,
Well, yeah, there's
that's the
that.
mess that
Yeah,
the base camp has been left in.
yeah,
And I
exactly.
think probably the top of the mountain as well. I think it's covered in crap.
There's probably a lot of poo up there.
Yeah, that as well. I was thinking mainly
Yeah,
flags, but yeah.
just frozen poos everywhere.
Mm, yeah.
Frozen piss waterfalls. Where uh, anyway, okay. I feel like we need to. I need
Yeah,
to stop
you did
talking.
stop. You're tired. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, Mr. Rice. But you're all right. Yeah, you with that?
Yeah, I'm good. You good?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Right.
You take care, and yeah, let's speak very soon.
Okay then, take it easy.
Bye.
Bye bye.